Hello, Internet. This is Ewan Spence and ESC Insight calling with one important question. Which is colder, Tel Aviv or Minsk? Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever or whenever you're listening to the ESC Insight podcast. And for the first time, I decided to stream myself from the studio as we recorded the podcast. So out there is video of all the mistakes and flubs, and you realise why this takes 2 hours to record. But okay, right, we've got 15 minutes. We're going to do a whole bundle of news from the world of the Eurovision Song Contest. And of course, as always, 3 things to give you an idea of what's coming up. Well, coming up, number 1, we have our full compilation playlist for Minsk. Number 2, spinning around your Swedish hosts, and number 3, the circle of life continues. Indeed, yeah, there was like 16 flubs before that. If you were watching the live stream from facebook.com/ESC Insight, you would have seen that. Everybody else, it's a secret, don't tell anybody. Anyway, what's happening with our favourite contest this last period, 2 weeks or so? We're going to be switching to weekly when we get to December, so this is like the last sort of the fortnightly news podcast, and then we're going to do all the coverage of Junior, and then we're going to be onto the weekly podcasts in December. But, you know, we still miss stuff. In the 2 hours between the recording of the last news podcast and publishing it on ESC Insight, the official slogan was announced by the EBU for Eurovision 2019. So, dare to dream it is. What that daring is, what that dreaming is an exercise for the marketing departments who are going to be pitching to do all the logos and everything in there. So we'll have fun with that one. What else from the EBU this week? 42 countries confirmed by the EBU. Only change to the 2018 entry list is the withdrawal of Bulgaria for budgetary reasons. It does mean that we're going to have an equal number of countries in the semi-finals, and we're not expecting any further changes. But let's be honest, let's have a cynical view. Kazakhstan is a Junior Eurovision, and if they do very well and they're well behaved, who knows if there's going to be an addition before we get to Tel Aviv. We'll leave that one up in the air. Stage designer Florian Weider has won the tender for designing the stage in Tel Aviv. So that means he's designed 2017, 2018 and 2019. So he's done 3, so he gets to keep the stage when he's finished. I do wonder if we're going to get another circular stage. Given that the arena has done a lot of pop concerts in the round, it's probably a good bet, but we shall see, and then we'll probably see some images and renders of that in about January or February. Speaking of January, semi-final draw will happen on January the 28th, along with the transfer of the host city insignia and the big keyring and all the little mementos on there. It looks like it's going to be taken in the former City Hall in Tel Aviv. That's been mentioned by Israeli broadcaster Channel 10. As with all things with the Israeli media, they hype everything up, so we'll wait for the official confirmation on the location, but 28th, that's when we'll know who's top half and bottom half of the semi-final 1 and top half and bottom half of semi-final 2. And from that we will get the running orders, which we will pour over and decide who everybody loves and who everybody hates. Finally, from the EBU for this podcast, we have some additions to the reference group. Carla Trindade from RTP joins, show producer from 2018, getting that experience in there. And Zivit Davodovic from Cannes as a sole producer for 2019 is going to pop on the reference group, as well as Rachel Ashdown from the BBC, who looks to be the new head of delegation for the United Kingdom as well. But given that submissions are open for Eurovision, you decide it's probably been in post for some time. Again, no need to publicly announce these things until the time is there. Also, worth noting that we now have a 5-4 male-female split on the reference group with these 3 additions and appointments and replacements and retirements going on. So nice to see a bit of balance going on in there as well. On to Junior Eurovision, which of course is, 13 days away now, on the 25th of November. All the songs have now been officially declared in public and published. You have a full playlist. You've got all the official videos up on YouTube, youtube.com/Junior Eurovision. And we are now able to start doing jukebox juries as well. Now we have all 20 songs. That is going to be popping up in 24 hours. For the first episode of Jukebox Jury. We're going to put those all in the first week. Actually, no, let's focus on Junior Eurovision just now. We'll talk about our plans shortly in the podcast. What we also have is confirmation of the voting system. Junior 2018 will be using the same system as 2017, so you have a 50-50 vote. 50 of that will be decided by the jury systems, who will watch the Saturday afternoon recording, and the rest will be done through online voting. And of course, voting opens on the Friday afternoon, 48-hour window before the start of the contest. Then the voting lines will close. They'll open up again for 50 minutes when all the performers have sung, and then it will close again, all tallied up. There we go, add them together, and we have our winner. Of course, that 48-hour window means a strong social media campaign. Get the vote out is going to be vital if you're looking for a path to victory. In terms of results, well, we had 19 out of 20, and although smart eye people had worked out what was going on, we now know that Ireland, following the elimination round in the final of Shania Leanne Roll and Taylor Hines won through with his song IOU. 6 ran, and we have our full list of 20. On to Eurovision 2019. We've got all the stuff like the EBU, but we've got some delegation and country news to run through as well. And of course, lots of things are getting in place for the national finals, internal selection submissions and judging processes going on. As always, in roughly alphabetical order. So we'll start with Albania. A couple of changes to note with Festivalia Kenya is here. And still doing the 3-night format, night 1 and night 2, and then night 3 is the grand final. But now night 1 and night 2 will see all the performers sing. Night 1 will be the traditional FIK. There'll be a full orchestra, there'll be the 22 songs sung, and you will see everything there. They then come back in the second night, and they will then use a backing track and perform on stage any style reminiscent of the Eurovision Song Contest. So there'll be a better idea of what the Albanian songs will look like if one of them makes it to Tel Aviv, and we do. We say that we know that one of them will make it. It's not like Albania haven't changed it before. And then the third night will, of course, be the time of picking the winner. That's on December the 22nd. Moving on to Australia, submissions are now closed for those looking to send a song into the national final. Yes, there is a national final. And yes, tickets are on sale for that one now through there. That means we have the dates for that. There'll be a jury final on the 8th of February and a televised final on the 9th of February. Also have more details from Croatia and the return of Dora. 16 performers will take place again over 3 nights, and we're having reports from the local press. Night 1 will be chanson and serenades with a symphony orchestra. Night 2 will be Dora classics, and night 3 will be the entries for the Eurovision Song Contest. We're waiting the exact dates on that, and when I get them, I'm straight down the travel agents that I call Charlene to find out flights and hotel information, because I really fancy going to that one there. Submissions have closed for the Czech Republic. Over 300 songs have been submitted. That's a nice number to select there. They're going to be doing a national final. It's expected to be held in late January, and there's going to be at least 6 artists taken out of those 300. And there may also be personal invitations as well from the broadcaster. We await more details. Estonia, 216 entries received. That needs to be cut down to 24 entries, which will take place over 2 semi-finals. They will be hosted in Tartu, both of them. But it's important to note that we have a date change. The first semi-final was going to be the 26th of January. It's now the 31st of January. And then the second will be in February the 2nd. So it kind of just shortens the booking in the venue. And then back to Tallinn for the grand final of SDLL on February the 16th. More details as well from Sanremo, although specifically the Sanremo Giovanni, the newcomers contest. And now this happens in mid-December. The top 2 from that contest will be given a ticket to enter the Sanremo main contest. But they will need to take a new song. And of course, the winner of that gets first refusal. So there is a tenuous chance we might hear the Eurovision song in this mix. There's an even more tenuous chance that we might actually hear the winning song. RAI has posted up 69 tracks that were submitted to itself. 16 of those will qualify through to Sanremo Giovanni. And the Sanremo Academy auditions, which are happening in the Sanremo Casino, which, trivia nerds stand by, was the original location for Sanremo, not the Ariston Theatre. They will find the other 8 performers. That will give us a grand total of 24 runners, of which 2 will go forward and do that complicated process that I discussed previously. Germany's a little bit further down the line. 6 acts have been selected for the Unser Lied. Ali Ryan, Bibi Thomas, Linus Brun, Gregor Hagle, Lily Among Clouds, or Mikta. We put up a little Spotify playlist of some of the artists that we can find. You'll find a link back. Easiest there is facebook.com/ESC Insight. And just scroll down about 3 or 4 posts back and you'll find the link through. Hungary have extended the Adal submissions by about another week. It's now going to close on November the 15th, which is Wednesday. There's an increased interest from the artists, and they just needed a little bit more time to get everything put together. A few more details from Montenegro. I think I've found the phrase of the podcast. There's going to be 5 singers taking part in Montevideo, and it will be 100% public vote to select the winner. We also have more details from Norway on the submission process for 2020, which is giving even more time for the artists to be ready. The submission process will open at the end of MGP 2019, so that's March the 2nd, and it will close on May the 17th. Lots of time to prepare, and I would assume that there's been a lot of information come back from the Norwegian music industry saying, we just need more time, we'd like a lot of window, we just need to have more time to get the plans in place. If it gets for a better entry, why not? Romania, and submissions are open for Selecta Nacional. That closes on December the 10th. We're expecting the artists to be announced on December the 20th. Russia, the Dream Team are back in charge of the production of the 2019 entry. So you've got Philip Kirkorov, who did so well with Moldova last year. They've been behind entries from Annie Lorak and Sergei Lazarev. And Annie Lorak might well be in concert in Minsk, so that's my Sunday taken care of. Thanks for the tickets, everybody. I've got to sit through Alexeyev, so swings and roundabouts on that one. But anyway, Russia looking to carry on with the success that Kirkorov and his team have brought. Again, no news on the actual entry, but we're looking at processing that starting in January or so, and they're probably going to just leave it as late as possible and play quite tactical in the choice of song and artist. So expect Russia to go right up to the deadline date, which is mid-March, for these submissions. San Marino has confirmed its entry. Of course, it submitted an entry to the EBU back in September, but there was no need to actually confirm that publicly. Last year, of course, used 1 in 360. This year, 1 in 360 have said that they're not doing the San Marinese national final, so there are no further details. All we know is San Marino have an entry at Eurovision. Speculate away. Slovenia, slight change to EMA for 2019. It's going to be a one-shot national final with up to 10 artists, so we'll see what comes in. Submissions are open right now for artists and songs, but you need to have a Slovene artist attached to the song, but it is a free language rule, so if you want to submit in English or French or Esperanto or Klingon, away you go. Submissions on that, you don't have long though, December the 14th for the closing on that. Christer Bjorkman has been teasing more details on Melody Festivalen. We already have 4 hosts previously now, but it looks like not all 4 hosts will do all of the shows. To quote Mr. Bjorkman, if you have one programme presenter, you know about how it will look after watching the first programme. This way we will ensure that you're constantly surprised by different groupings, forms of entertainment and elements. So you've got 4 hosts. Let's play host combination pairings. We've got 4 hosts, so there's 4 heats, so are they each getting 1 heat, 1 lead, 1 supporting. Lots of fun and games to be played with the production on that one. Also, number 4 pops up again as Aftonbladet have leaked a couple more names that they believe will be entering Melody Festivalen. Jan Malmslo is going to be returning, who first entered Melody Festivalen in 1969 with a song written by Benny Andersson while he was still trying to work out how to win Melody Festivalen. The clue would be get another singer in, which isn't fair. Jan actually got tied for first place in that one but lost on the count back that year. Anton Hagman, who was in Andra Chance in 2017 and actually knocked Lorraine out of Melody Festival that year. Bishara Morad, who is something on Instagram, is going to be taking part. Is going to be one of the youngest contestants in Melody Festival in recent history. He turned 16 2 weeks before the Swedish shows. And you also have a YouTuber, Vlad Reiser, who's known for doing stunts and wacky things, but has said he's going to be doing an absolutely deadly serious song. That might be a troll. That might be true. We don't know. United Kingdom, we already mentioned that we have our potential head of delegation name. It's also in the reference group in Rachel Ashdown. But thanks to a radio interview, we also know that Mel Giedroyc will be returning to host the national final, Eurovision You Decide. No further details or timings or anything on that as well. And finally in here, Ukraine have announced the first name that will be taking part in Vidbeer, and that's Natalie Herdenko with the song Hrim. Although I prefer the translation, Thunder. Dates for the diaries are there's some big ones coming up. There's a jury final on Saturday the 24th at Junior Eurovision. There's a grand final on Sunday the 25th, so you might want to tune in for those as well. Did promise that we'd say what's coming up in ESC Insight. We're going to be pretty much exclusively Junior Eurovision on the site and in the podcast. If you want to skip over, then December the 3rd is the date to put in your diaries. We'll be back with a new news podcast there, and it will be pretty much all exclusively adult, and maybe just one or two tiny mentions of Junior. But if you just want to pause this for 2 weeks because you want to ignore Junior, that's when you want to come back. Really though, have a stay, have a listen. We've got Juke Box Jury coming up this week, so you get a chance to listen to snippets of all the songs and what we think about them. There's going to be 4 episodes, 5 songs in each, and we're going to run them every other day. In between that, we'll have tourism guides from Charlene to Minsk and Belarus. We are going to be on the ground in Minsk as well. Once we get there, we're going to have lots of articles. We're going to be looking at the voting, duty of care, paths to victory. Sam and Lisa have been working on the guidebook, so you'll have a little reference book to get you through all the songs, the artists' selections, and the facts and the figures. And once again, we're working with Radio 6 International. You'll be able to listen to music previews of all the songs at Junior Eurovision starting from Monday the 19th of November. You can listen online at radio6.com starting at 6:30 GMT. And of course, if your local station's on the Radio 6 International network, you'll be able to listen over the FM, AM and DAB as well. We'll have a pre-show and a live broadcast of Junior Eurovision on Radio 6 International. That will start at 2:45 GMT on Sunday the 25th, and you can join the team as we guide you through the contest on the radio. And again, that's with the International Network of Partners or online at radio6.com. And as always, we'd ask you not to forget about our own Patreon fund, patreon.com/ESC Insight. You can support the site there from as little as $1 a week, and that helps us buy new equipment, get tech, do various secret projects that you'll eventually hear about, and all of that there. And of course, you get extra podcasts and articles and some snippets going on there as well. And finally, congratulations to RTP for winning the Eyes and Ears Design Award for Eurovision 2018's All Aboard campaign. And also, Nicky French's new single is out. On Your Marks, Get Set, Go Away is out ahead of the album release on the 19th of November. Glitter to the Neon Lights. It's going to get a preview this Saturday at the Two Brewers pub in Clapham, where there'll be tracks previewed from the album, and no doubt it will be Don't Play That Song Again and Total Eclipse of the Heart will pop up in the mix as well. Right, that's it. We're done here in the UK, done here in Australia, done over in Sweden. Everyone's going to be packing the bags. We are off to Minsk, and while we make that journey, you're going to have jukebox juries, you're going to have articles and tourism, and you're also going to have a little bit of the guitars as well. The ESC Insight News podcast this week was hosted by Ewan Spence and written by Ewan Spence and Charlene Wright. www.escinsight.com